What the hell does it take for our classes to grow? Let's get into it. Welcome to the Crystal Crawford Show. I'm Crystal Crawford, and I invite you to a deep exploration of the tools of access consciousness and a totally different way of being. What's up, everybody? We are going to dive into what it takes to grow our classes. If you don't have classes, you can use this conversation to grow anything. So this is going to be an energetic conversation, not strategy, not all that other stuff that we're so addicted to when we're looking for answers or what it takes to grow something. This is going to be all about energy and what you might be doing that you're not aware of that are hiding the stuck places, keeping everything small, keeping everything stuck. So I want to start, we're going to make this very actionable for you by the end of the episode. And we've got 30 minutes together. So if you're live, set your phone down and have a coffee. And if you can't, that's fine. You can come back later. First of all, we're going to see how many times I can say in the next 5 minutes. So this conversation is coming out of really being in a body, having classes, and having experienced the last year of the business being really, really different. Raise your energetic hand if this last year your business has been really different. So you guys, if you've been hanging on for the ride, you know that I've been really exploring what it takes to have growth. And so I've been doing all kinds of things. What have you been doing? I've been, pivoting. I've been remessaging. I've been specializing. I've been instituting new, all the marketing things. I've been tightening up my marketing. And it's just not doing the thing that you think it should do. And so I, about 2 weeks ago, just recommitted to myself and dove back into the Access Consciousness tools hardcore. And in doing that, I joined Dain here's membership, 15 billion. I don't know if you guys know about that, but there's like 1,700 people in there, so you may be one of them. And I got to listen to his call from last week. And the short of it is that a lot of us are experiencing reduced numbers. And when I was in the United States, so I'm American, but I've lived all over, and I was just recently in Latin America. And then I spent 6 to 8 months in the States. The dominant energy where I was living was this stress about money. And if you look on social media, everybody's talking about, the economy and the recession and all kinds of things having to do with things not growing. Here's where that becomes something we use to limit ourselves. It's when we take that information and we make it a structure in our world that we now have to figure out, go around, or do something with. And what I want to do today is invite you to a call that I'm doing, free call, that where I'm going to contribute to your classes. So bring your body, bring your classes, and then we're going to kick that off into a 14-day series where every single day we are clearing out these structures and asking new questions so that new shit can show up. And what I hope to do in this episode is give you more of a framework for what that is and what that could be for you. So the link's in my bio, the link's down below. Okay, let's get started. So let's start with what a structure is, which I kind of think I've been talking about a lot. A structure is something that you cannot change, or that you think you cannot change. I think that's more accurate. A structure is something you think you can't change. So structures hold up houses. Structures tend to be the thing we turn to hold up our life. I know for me, structures are the conclusions I go to that I decide are the answer to what's occurring. So every time you ask a why is this happening? Or what's going on, from like, what's going on, give me an answer. That's where you're looking for a structure. And structures are these things that we think we need in order to find the explanation to what's occurring. That if we find the explanation to what's occurring, then we're going to know how to fix it. But that assumes so many things. There's so many structures in place just in that 2 sentences. The structure that you can actually have a problem. Did you know that in order to have a problem, you have to invent something as a problem? Which for me has been really annoying because I've been doing more of that than I want to admit. So it assumes that you've got a problem, and then it assumes that there's something broken that you need to fix. And so usually when we're looking for more people in our classes or more growth in our money, our question, which isn't a question, is why isn't this growing and how can I grow it? So why and how are the structures we go to try to get something to grow? Because at the base of us, what we were taught was to look for answers. So I've been now playing with giving up answer for like the last 3 months because I've been doing answer for like the last year and it's hard. And I'm interested now more in what does it take to function as an infinite being with infinite choice and infinite possibilities? Well, the first thing I've got to be aware of is every single place that I'm doing a structure. So let me give you some examples. And if you guys have questions about your classes, your stuff, please put them in the comments and I'll include it in this. My first go-to answer when it comes to growing or looking at a business that has stopped doing what it used to do, my first go-to feeling or sensation is, what's wrong? Anybody else relate to that? When you look at something that's not doing what you're like, what's wrong? Becomes your first question. Now, I want to show you what's the difference in what's wrong, and oh, something's changed. What else is possible? One assumes that underneath what's showing up is the cause of a problem. What's wrong assumes that there's a cause of a problem. Oh, that's interesting. What else is possible? Assumes that I live in a universe of possibilities, everything has changed, and there's something else possible that I haven't yet chosen. Or what am I doing wrong? Somebody said, yeah, what's wrong or what am I doing wrong? It must be that I'm the God of the universe and I'm causing what's showing up in my classes or not in my classes. I'm causing it. So for the cause to change, which I'm already assuming is me, I've got to change me, not be me, change me. Because clearly whatever I was doing before was working and now it's not. And so I'm the cause. Now that is a whole landmine situation where you've got to bend, fold, staple, and mutilate yourself in every single direction that you could possibly think of to figure out what you could do that's different that would create a different result. Because at the end of the day, we're all looking for results. Now, I'm not saying I have all the answers, but I am saying I have all the questions. And one of the things I've noticed is that in the attempt to change me or change my messaging or make myself more clear or make myself something else or whatever, that it was very, very, number one, labor intensive. I put a lot of energy into it. And one of the things I really noticed is that I had to use a lot of brain power to hold all of that in place. So I was forming a lot of different structures and then I had to use my brain a lot to hold all of it in place, which is what you do when you have to stay on brand, for example, or, be whatever the algorithm likes or any of those things that everyone else is telling you have to do in order to grow. So I will get to that, Tejas. Thank you. So that took a lot of energy. And that's the thing about, so we've got this reality and we've got the reality of possibilities. Those are the two realities we're going to talk about. This reality, which is what I was doing a lot of, you got to use a lot of brain power, a lot of effort. You've got to do a lot of strategy in order to get the right results. And I'm not saying you can't make sales that way, because you can. But it takes a lot of energy, a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of matter, all of that stuff. Now, as an infinite being, we have all the choice in the world and we can choose that because everything's included. We're doing consciousness here. Raise your hand if you're doing consciousness. Consciousness just includes everything. So we can do the structured way, or we can do the way that creates and where all of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. Those are literally the two choices we have at any moment. And all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory is not hoo-ha. It's not woo-woo. It's like a reality that you can choose. But to cultivate all of life coming to me with ease and joy and glory, you've got to be willing to use different tools. And this is where destructuring comes into place. Why? Why would we destructure? Because if you're committed to structure, you can't have all of life come to you with ease, joy, and glory. You're committed to something else. You're busy putting all your energy into the structure that you've decided is the answer and what it takes for your things to grow. Let me put this comment or this question up on the screen here and talk about this. I'm a professor and I'm also associated with an institution. And if you guys on Instagram have questions, put them up. I will include them. I choose to increase the number of students to 20 folds and increase digital presence. What questions can I ask? It's too heavy. So let's break this apart, actually. How many of you guys, in an effort to make things grow, have decided things? Let me give you some examples. I need things to grow, therefore, now you may not say the word therefore, but what's happening is therefore I need to get more visible. I got to get more visible. Actually, I have this a lot in my sessions where people get business coaching with me and they come into their first session. I'm like, if you could get anything, what would it be? And they're like, I need to get out of my own way. I'm like, for what? Well, I got to get more visible. Now notice in both of those things, there's no question. I've already decided I'm in my own way, and I've already decided that to get the results that I want, I've got to get more visible. So I've put structures in place that I now have to make myself adhere to in order to achieve this result. So that's why it's heavy, because it's fucking hard. There are conclusion after conclusion after conclusion. So here's a tool for you. Whose structures am I using to create the structure I am choosing? And then use the clearing statement. Everything that is times a godzillion, I destroy it and create it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, podpoc, all nine shorts, boys, povids, and beyond. So what am I saying then? Am I saying don't get on social media? I mean, I'm on social media right now. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying don't get visible. I'm just saying you've decided that that's the answer to the growth. Is there an answer to growth, or does growth just naturally occur when the environment is nurturing? This is something I've been looking at with the way nature works. I was outside yesterday in the backyard, and out in the back, along our back fence, there's these spring bulbs that are just popping up. And they're popping up, of course, right in the middle of all the winter shrapnel of the plants from last year. I didn't have to go out there, and there was no strategy to those bulbs popping up. Bulbs pop up. If they're planted and they have the conditions where they can grow, they grow, because that's what bulbs do. So classes are similar. It's like when classes have the conditions where they can grow, they just grow. The same is true actually of change. When in the bars manual, if you guys haven't taken a bars class yet, it's 32 points on your head. It's amazing. In the manual, when we're talking about the power band, which is at the base of your skull, power is where you are the catalyst for change, and everything that can change will change, and everything that can't won't, and you won't have to work hard. That's true power. So the same is true of true growth. Like, growth occurs when the conditions are natural, are there for growth to occur. So here's what we do. Instead of going after the conditions, which is all the energy that we are being, we go into the conclusion, which kills the growth and then makes it hard on us. So you are the source of everything growing in your life. You are the source. Whatever you are being is what will show up in your life. So if you're being, I have to and I should, then you push what you want out of your life. If you're being, what else is possible? What else can I choose? And you're wondering and you're curious and you're pulling all that energy into your world, and you're taking action, imperfect or otherwise, and you're just pinging and talking to people, and you're letting all of that enliven your life, that stimulates growth, and none of that has any structure. So Tejas' next comment is looking for a structure here. I want to point this out. So Tejas, thank you for commenting. I really appreciate it. He says, I've taken a bars class, I've found, and I talked to the entities. Should I run the power band more often? So Tejas is looking for an answer. If I do this thing, will it create this thing? I'm looking for a pill that will create the thing. But where the growth is found is in the chaos. So pills can produce chaos and symptoms, but pills are answers. So you as an infinite being with infinite choice and infinite possibilities, is there an answer for you? Or are you more like a tsunami, tornado, hurricane, magical unicorn thing like Dr. Dain says, where there is no answer and you just got to get engaged with the chaos? Now, do you want to know why we don't like this conversation? Because it's too out of control. There's no answers. There's no particular pathway to growth. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you want the choices available to you for growth, we've got to destructure. So let's do some of that together now, okay? Whose structure are you using? This is the access consciousness clearing statement I'm about to use. Whose structure are you using to structure yourself out of existence are you choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy it and create it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, povids, and beyonds. Whose structure are you using to destroy you are you choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy it and create it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, povids, and beyonds. So this is what we're going to do on the call. You can go to crystaljoycrawford.com/let's grow. You can bring your questions, bring your personal thing, bring all your points of view. Every point of view that you or I have is a structure. So I'll use my own life as an example here. I've been really looking at just how many structures I put into place over the last year. And structures are what we do to cope with what we think we can't handle. So can I even put them into a list? This isn't working. I need to do something different. I have to get more clear. I've got to specialize. The reason, and this one wasn't very conscious. This was more unworded, but the reason things aren't growing is, and then I had a list. And so to mitigate that, we're doing this and we have to, there was a lot of have to, and we need to. Now, the cool thing about me, and I don't know about you, is that I'm always a blend of both. So I'm a blend of like going after structure to try to find answers, but I always have this chaos in the background because I'm an infinite being and I'm a chaotic as fuck. Anybody else chaotic as fuck? So while I'm doing that, I'm getting lots and lots and lots of awareness simultaneously because I'm aware. You can't ever cut off what you are, thankfully. So as we're going into all that and I'm doing all that and I'm experiencing the effects of structure, here's one of the side effects of structure. It hurts. So you're going to get more tired. You're just going to get tired. Okay. It takes a lot of energy to do structure. Your body's probably going to hurt. It's going to feel heavy. And here's where we return to the very, very first conversations in Access Consciousness, that what's light for you is true for you and what's heavy isn't true for you. So, but sometimes when you're in the middle of structure, it's hard to tell what's light and heavy. So what I'm recommending is that you just surrender all your stuff right now to whose structure, and pock and pot it. This is from Dr. Dain, straight from the mouth from Dr. Dain. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, povids, and beyonds. Whose structure am I using to struggle with this? And everything that is times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, povids, and beyonds. Oh, there's so much I want to say about this last piece here. How much do you hold on to looking for the answer to what you think is a problem because it's what you know? And what would it take to be willing to be braver than that? To really embrace the unknown. Here's what I want to wrap with. If you are involved in Access Consciousness at all, and you've been doing any kind of clearing, me too. What is happened is that everything has changed. So when we clear this stuff, it changes things. It changes you. It destructures everything. if you don't get present and start choosing and experimenting and wondering and question and all of that stuff, you can't create because all of your structures are gone. And so the more we destructure, the more your structures go away. The more we destructure, the more your structures go away. And so we also, hand in hand with destructuring, need to teach ourselves to be present and choose. And to me, that's the two pieces that are always there. So yeah, when I don't want to do that anymore, I go to answers. And it's been a really interesting year for me, kind of giving up using the tools. That was interesting. It gave me a lot of information. And you know, the primary thing that giving up using the tools gave me back was me. So how does it get better than that? You can't really fuck anything up. You can just stop using the tools for a while if you want. What I'm recovering or choosing again is to be me. The thing about me is I'm an infinite being with infinite choice and infinite possibilities. I'm creative, I'm chaotic. If I will claim that and engage with me and be me, then that generates this natural environment where everything can grow. If I don't choose that and I go into trying to be who I've decided I need to be as the chameleon that I am in order to achieve a particular result, then things can't grow in the way that they can. That is not an environment where things grow. That is an environment where things go away. And there's a lot of structures underneath that, creating it. So where I'm at is like, I'm diving headfirst into destructuring everything so I can be me, have me, choose as me, be the chaos that I am, and actually, what do you think created this business in the first place? And for you, what created your business? Was it your brilliant strategies and your ideas, or just your willingness to get the fuck out there and start talking to people? That's what created all of this in the first place. When you've created anything, I bet you could look back and go, how'd that get created? And number one, you might not actually know how you did it. That's a sure sign that you were being chaos. And number two, there's no way you could teach anybody else to do it because it was totally, so here's how wonderful things happen. It was a fluke. I didn't even mean for it to happen. It just occurred, right? Like I was just out there talking to, and it just happened. That's business. There, boom, you're in business. And then we get into it and then things start going different. And the very first thing we let go of is the chaos because everything's different. And now we've got to use these muscles that we are not very practiced in of choice and question and wondering and pivoting and living on our toes, living on quicksand. And that's uncomfortable because it's new and it's different and it's not something we've practiced all the time. And so we get that up and lean back into trying to find the answers or giving up or quitting. So what would it take to lean back in and go, fuck it, I'm going to give up knowing. I don't know the answer. Everything's different. I'm different. This is different. Everything's different. So does that mean that there's no more money left in the universe because the economy has changed? No. Does that mean that there's nobody left who ever wants to come to an access class? No. Doesn't mean anything. Something's changed. What else is possible that I haven't considered? What if we leaned further in to question and choice? And really got stronger as that. That's what I'm choosing. It's exhilarating. It's exhilarating. You know, for the first time today, I was doing my makeup like you do. That's when all good ideas come, makeup or shower. And I was like, I'm just going to get in the car and like drive around to yoga studios and like tell them, I do this thing called bars. Do you know anybody that would be interested in? And instantaneously, I was like, that's the energy that I crushed out of existence and looking for answers. That's the energy that generates new growth, where you aren't even paying attention to all the structures that everybody's doing. So I want to give us more access to that space, to the chaos that you are, to the magic that you are, to the absolute sheer brilliance that you are, that doesn't have anywhere to fit. That's just brilliant on its own. And so I'll leave you with this, and then I invite you to the call. So whose structures are you using to crush what you're creating? Are you choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys, povids, and beyonds. Whose structures are you using? Who and what and how many? And what if you gave yourself permission to be you, to be as chaotic as you are, to be as brilliant as you are? That's where we're going. So get yourself registered. Let's grow our classes. I'll see you in the next conversation. Bye for now.